Ready? Okay. This is Henry Frederick of Headline Surfer. We're here on a third and final debate. This is the primetime debate of Friday morning for County Chair. Over here is Ed Kelley, who won the primary for County Chair. Finishing second was the incumbent, Jason Davis. This is your first term you're completing. Mr. Kelley, as the challenger, I'd like you to give an opening statement. That's no arguments, it's just introducing yourself a little further for about a minute.
I'm Ed Kelley. I'm currently the mayor of the city of Ormond Beach. I lived in Volusia County 36 years. I've served as mayor, as I mentioned, for 6 years. I had 9 years of service previous to that at different times on the city commission of Ormond Beach. I'm involved in our community at several different social and charitable organizations. I'm married to my wife, Mary Margaret, for 43 years. We have 2 children. I'm a graduate of Belmont College, degree in Bachelor of Science in Business Administration and minor in Economics.
Now, how long have you been mayor?
6 years.
Okay, and Jason Davis, a brief introduction.
Hi, I'm Jason Davis. I'm the incumbent County Chair of Volusia County. I've been a Volusia County resident since the turn of the century, but I grew up here in Apopka, Florida. And I've been doing this job now. This is my first term, 4 years at USF, and I am a member of so many veterans organizations. It's just really a long list, so we won't worry about it.
And you're a Gulf War vet, too.
Gulf War, Panama, Korea.
Okay, so I happen to shamelessly plug that I'm a big fan of professional wrestling. And there's a wrestler named Ric Flair. His famous saying of several decades is, to be the man, you've got to beat the man. Are you the man?
I'm the man. Met Rick several years ago. Interesting character.
Up in Carolina, right?
No,
Charlotte?
he's from Carolina. I met him in Jacksonville.
And Jason Davis,
I've never met him.
no, but can you beat them? Is he the man or are you still the man?
Oh yeah, I'm still the man. Good question.
I remember when you were upset when Greg Gimberg, the one issue candidate for beach driving, actually came to you and said, I want your backing.
I wasn't upset.
No, but I want your backing in my quest to take your job.
Yeah.
How do you feel that Mr. Kelley, a far more superior candidate with the acumen of, the experience and the time in the community, he's got a great family, he's got a great tradition, well known throughout Volusia County. Is he a far more serious threat to taking you out in 18 to 19 days?
No.
No? Ed Kelley, what was the percentage vote among 4 candidates?
I had 47.01. He had 23.
And the other couple?
A total of 30.
And that was before there was a lot of no votes. They still counted it for some reason. They did drop it.
They didn't count the 12,000 numbers.
Just to get out of the way, because I was pretty critical of it, Chairman Davis, the press conference with Tony Ledbetter, where you accused Ed Kelley of committing a felony, of being in concert with Tony Ledbetter.
Never said that either. What I said was the REC was wrong. Falls on the chairman. Because of the chairman's action, I said that anybody that is highlighted should withdraw because that has tainted the race. I said, Mr. Kelley did anything. I said, Mr. Ledbetter did it. But because of his action, it did take the race.
I have the actual document.
You did say I should resign.
I said,
You said that he was in concert, that he was
I said he probably knows about it.
That's
Because I know about it, you probably know.
I didn't.
Did you know about it?
No. Not the
Sharpie gave
the only one I saw was the one at the burial. It had nobody's name highlighted.
Right.
That's the first one I saw. It didn't have anybody's name highlighted. Anybody could have highlighted those names. Now, I don't know who did it. No one knows who did it, except the person who did it, or someone who saw them do it. So that's.
Yeah. Well, but it was part. I think. What was your vote total percentage-wise?
47.
I think that was a big impact on the voter reverberation. I think you would agree that was not the high point, right?
It was just the fact.
Okay.
It wasn't a high point, it wasn't a low point, it was just the fact.
What do you think, Ed?
I think he got a higher percentage for doing that because he had more people know who he was. Some people didn't know what the issue really was. And so I think he got actually a higher percentage. He got a $100,000 ad on the front page of the paper. So, well, it's free publicity.
Publicity is publicity.
Well, you know, while I was doing the debate with Kevin Post and Al Smith, Frank Bruno was on the phone. I don't think anyone would not know who he is.
No.
First elected county chair. You know,
And he's the one that we should be trying to emulate because of his
You agree?
service.
Oh, yeah, I've
or
worked
if you
with
tried
Frank.
your own cause.
I work with Frank all the time. I mean, you know, when we were, just very recently, during these situations, we were together in the same room, going with all these volunteers and going out to where we were together. I mean,
You're talking about the hurricane.
Yeah, we were side by side on that one.
Look, before we get back into you guys, there is something I want to address, Ed Kelley, and that is the meanness or the ugliness of the primary, especially. Not between you two, but Gimbert's crew. Just say no to Ed Kelley. There was a thing of your mailer that had, it was like a thing scratched out with something that was vulgar.
Yes.
And it was consistent on a daily basis, almost as bad as the Ledbetter bash. Has that still plagued you?
I try not to look at it. You can't say that it doesn't hurt because when you know the issues and you know the truth about it, any personal attack on me and my family is unwarranted. And it just shows you how far people will go.
But these have been
on
merciless.
Yeah, on social media. I mean, I can see where cyberbullying can cause a young person to commit suicide, to want to not live. It's horrible because you go to bed. I got where I didn't read it. I didn't respond to it because why didn't? People would say, "Did you see what they said? Did you see what they did?" I said, "No, I didn't see it."
Would both of you have pretty much in agreement on this at least, that they were rebuked, that group, Gimbert's crew? I mean, every one of their candidates was pretty much either last or second to last.
We got 17% of the vote.
Yeah, but you also got to remember, I mean, when you come out and you're a one issue candidate,
Which is beach driving.
which is beach driving, there's so much more to Volusia County than beach driving. There's so much more than just water issues or homeless or roads. I mean,
Let me
it is
ask
a big,
either of you.
almost
I
$1
don't mean to
billion
interrupt you.
corporation.
I agree, but where would you either be ranked beach driving in the top 5?
But yes,
You would?
yes, I would rank that as an issue that's in the top 5. It's something to
But
watch.
if you're doing something different, then it would be. But what's different?
Well, I mean,
A hotel pulled out.
one
and
hotel
people still
left
drive
because
on the
they're
beach.
still driving on the beach. There is always that constant fear. I hear it all the time that they're going to come in and do it again. And I have assured everybody, believe me, county council, after what they went through, after I said you don't want to do this, and they went through it anyways, and they passed it, I believe it. I don't think anybody up on that council is going to
And
want
what
to
did
do
they
the same
actually
deal.
do that was so bad?
I think the
They
issue-
took a car off the beach.
What-
That's bad.
what-
People have a fit about it.
what that
Well, hold on a
cabinet-
second. They took the cars off like a mile stretch of the beach for economic development.
For economic development.
Hard
there-
Rock Hotel and.
Hard Rock Hotel, but that still raised such a fuss that it was quite inundating, shall we say, every single day on the phone, council members, every one of us, phone call, email, constantly.
So are you
These
saying you
yeah.
could stay the course or not stay the course?
For what? For
For
what I
economic
said?
development.
For what I said,
No.
leave our
For
beach
econ-
alone.
Let me ask the question.
I said, well, let me clarify. Leave the beach alone. If you don't want to drive on the beach, we have plenty of off-beach parking. If you want to drive on the beach, we got plenty of on-beach parking. Just leave it alone.
Well, I think he created an issue to get people excited.
Who created? Gimbert or?
Gimbert.
Okay, right.
Not you.
Right.
Gimbert created the issue. Then he tried to paint both of us.
Then he parlayed that to.
To me especially, when I kept saying, open up all the beach ramps, they would say, so people can walk through them. I'm going, give me a break. You open the ramps up, all of them, so cars can drive in, so you can drive on the beach. I first drove on the beach in '62. I sent a mailer out showing my wife and I on the beach in '76. I earned a big part of my living from the fact that Hawaiian Trumpet was created and marketed on the beach. So
I want to give the viewers here a little tidbit from my perspective as the award-winning reporter, as they call me, the AWJ, that it was my reporting on Greg Gimbert entering the beach by not using a ramp for his vehicle that resulted in getting a misdemeanor summons court and pleading no
I
contest.
mean, he wasn't walking.
No.
No,
I believe
I don't know,
it
it
was.
must have been some super cheap or something.
Yeah.
Anyway.
He drove over and destroyed an environmentally sensitive
So this is the guy running for.
Yeah, if they'd opened the gates, he wouldn't have to do that.
Did both of you recognize that it was going to come down to the two of you? If
Yeah.
there was going to be a
From day one.
runoff?
I felt that if it was gonna be a runoff, it would be against the two of us.
Let me ask you.
As a matter of fact, when you started this line,
Yeah.
like Mr. Gimbert called and said, he was very nice about it. Mr. Chairman, I said, hello, Mr. Gimbert, how can I help you? He says, I just wanted to let you know that I'm going to run for chairman of the county council. I said,
And I want your support.
and I want your support and your endorsement. I said, you are aware of
Pretty
it.
ballsy, don't you think?
I thought it was very appropriate. I said, you are aware we can call. He goes, yeah. I said, and you honestly think I'm going to do this? Well, you should. I said, have a nice day, Mr. Gimbert.
I asked Frank
He
Bruno
kept
about that.
saying- He kept
He
saying.
said the guy would have made it out the front door with a proposition like that.
Well, it's like this.
A small city man in Orange City, well-meaning, had some good programs. He supports you, Ed Kelley.
Yes.
He wrote a letter in the News Journal, testament to that. I thought all three of you did great in our primary debate, and Mr. Gibbs, of course, was a no-show after we put out the stuff about what he was really about. If you hadn't had Laputka or Gibbert, or maybe just one of them, would you have won the primary outright? Would you have won the primary outright?
Well, there wouldn't have been a primary if they weren't.
Well, no.
Neither
If there had
way.
been one or the other, there would have been three of you.
If there
I don't
had-
know.
I think I would have won with the primary.
Do you think you would have crossed the threshold of 50%
Yes.
plus one? Do you agree?
No,
Would you have done it?
I think I would.
Why?
Because most people that were supporting Greg Gimbert were over there with Greg Gimbert or Tom Laputka, and they split my vote.
They didn't have much of a vote to begin with, did they?
Well, they
That's
split-
30%.
Yeah, 30% of the vote.
What did the two of you like
So
collectively?
if he gets half and I get half, I win.
But he won't, because he's already had 40% that he's going to get.
Not very good here. Ed Kelley, let's move away from the beach. Enough of that for now.
Thank you.
Unless there's anything else you want to put up. I know we talked the other day, you brought up Romano.
Andy Romano.
Andy Romano Park, that he's got the telephone poles, utility poles,
And
blocking driving.
because
But is that a safety issue, or is that?
It's just blocking it off for Andy Romano Park. As a matter of fact, those poles are the only poles that can actually be removed off the beach because it's a temporary beach permit.
How long is the permit for?
And it's renewed every year automatically, no cost to the city.
Ed, do you support that? You're the mayor.
We created a park between the county and the city. We put in $10 million or something like that. The city maintains that park. And we felt like by providing 200 parking spaces on the 760 feet of oceanfront with access for handicap,
Oh, they
wheelchairs and
park
so
there.
forth.
Yeah, they
200
park.
Oh, I
parking
didn't know
spots.
that.
There's
Yeah,
200 we created the most
But you
beautiful.
don't drive there.
No, you
Just
can't
on that
drive
one
it.
section.
Okay.
But the people are
Let's move on.
and it's filled every weekend.
Let's move, because I know both, we don't have a lot of time,
Yeah, I know.
we've got 12
Yeah,
minutes.
since he's gotta go, I gotta go.
What's the one overriding issue that puts you in the lead position to get the vote on November 8th? What issue have you been pushing? And you've heard the first two debates, and they were pretty one debate and a half of the debate. And the last debate, they were both very passionate.
Well, the issue doesn't come down to one issue. The issue
There isn't
comes-
one overriding issue?
The one overriding issue that you can immediately do something about is the homeless issue. That can be done.
You really think that's the number one?
No, I said it's the
Okay.
one issue that you can do something immediately about. The water issue, you can't do anything immediately about. The economic development or the job creation, you can't do anything immediately about. The public safety issue you have, you can't do anything about. But what you can do, you can immediately begin discussion and action on solving the issue of homelessness. And you can do that by the county being the one to take the lead and agree that the homeless issue is a
I'm not
county
laughing
issue.
at you. I'm just thinking back at my agonizing time sitting through these county council meetings in the last 4 years. Hold on, with Waverly Media, the Gang of Four, all that gridlock. And then I remember all the cities came in, they all wanted their CRAs, but not one city was willing to pony up any money for an increase in fares for Votran bus service to help the poorest people. So if you can't get the buses rolling, how are you gonna take it to the bigger
That
thing?
was a prime example where the county tried to throw the cities under the bus, calling a staged
I knew
meeting.
that was gonna happen.
Yeah, you knew it was going to
Yeah.
happen.
No,
Because,
that's good.
and we asked them. They wanted us to pay a percent of the riders. Every rider that rode, they wanted a percent. And I said, how many riders are there in Ormond Beach? They said, well, it's this amount. And I said, you have a count on that? They said, No, we had a person in Dallas estimated based upon your economic indicators and yours in Ormond Beach that that's how many will probably ride. Well, what we know is that there's computers that would tell us when a person gets on a bus, when a person gets off the bus, and that easily could do that.
Jason, you agree with Ed Davis Ed Kelley, I'm sorry, I do that all the time. I'm thinking of actually Ed Davis, the prosecutor. Would you agree with Ed Kelley about the homeless thing being one that's more easy to solve?
Well,
Whole place seemed to be a struggle for a little while.
Well, the whole place was a struggle. Actually, we're working very diligently to fix this problem. We've come to the grand conclusion that, of course, the cities aren't going to assist. Daytona's ponied up some money. I think you guys are ponying up some money too. And Orange City's ponying up. So we're all getting the monies together. But what we're really going to do now is we're taking the whole place, and once we take 125 bodies out of the North Street shelter, they can come in, and some of that money that's being donated by the cities is going to be used to redo the inside of that North Street Center. We can get about 125 to 130 homeless people there, which takes a big chunk off the road. And once they're inside, then we can bring in the social service people that are ready, willing, and able to come on in. It's okay. You need to come with us over here to Stuart Marchman. You got to go here. We can start getting
Those
them
are
services.
chronic. Those are families. What about
They're not
these?
coming from the North Street.
Right. No.
The 125 we're clearing out the North Street shelter of families.
But they won't go to
children.
Hope Place.
Yes, they will.
No, let me make this clear.
Okay, that's
I
what
think
we're
I have a
working on.
handle on it. I've studied it very well. There's not an exact number of homeless families. It comes and goes. You can't pay your rent, you're out the street. That's a homeless family.
Right.
It's not as, like when I was cop reporter, I knew who all the homeless people were, the ones that were homeless.
Well, let's go back to the
How do
issue.
you calculate?
There's 120 beds there.
Yeah, but
Okay, we'll just go with this way then. 120 beds there that could or could not be filled. They're gonna go from there. Whoever is over there is going to Hope Place, plus the children and other, we got plenty of room there.
Finally, they're admitting that there is an issue, but what they haven't admitted is that the county needs to be the one leading it. The county needs to be the one that brings the people together, not trying to get it all divided up. But the cities are saying, we're gonna build a shelter, you're gonna put everybody in it, then you're gonna be responsible for running it. And all you have to do is bring together the social services, the Halifax Urban Ministry, Salvation Army, Stuart Marchman, the Catholic charities, the faith-based groups, the private sector, the CEO Alliance is willing to step in and help fund it, because this is all part of the bigger picture of economic development and job creation.
all right, let me stop you right there. Let's be clear about this. The county chair runs the meeting, reads off the agenda, this is item number blah, 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 has this little hammer, takes the vote. Gavel, sorry, gavel. No more authority than the next guy, or the next gal.
Except for the fact the chair has to
Can
provide
you
the
be-
leadership.
Okay,
to the
that
council
was my next question.
And so when you come
Hold
to
on,
the,
hold on. Let me
I'd like
just
to address
answer-
this.
No, stop. Let me ask the question first, and then you can, I'll give you the time you need, please. Has he been able to build consensus in his 4 years on the dais?
Not so sure.
Well, didn't get the Voteran bus thing straightened out. You still don't have the homeless thing done, although you do have clarification on the beach. And there's been a lot of great economic development projects, which I personally credit to Jim Lean, working with public and private partnerships, and the council understanding the need for that. Would you agree?
Exactly.
Okay, go ahead and make your pitch.
See, the deal with the homeless shelter is very similar to the deal with the bus. When we were having a problem, we said we're $1 million short on this. Why is it? Because we got a lot of people riding. And yes, you were correct. They did make an incorrect statement. We have since fixed that. When you get on that bus, the computer system talks to another computer on the bus, talks to a computer system back in Boca. We know who gets on what bus stop and who's getting off at what bus stop. We've got all this great app stuff, and that's beside the point. We're still almost $1 million in the hole on the bus because public transportation is expensive. I don't care if it's a bus, a train, whatever, it's expensive. We went to the cities, my first year in, I said, we need to talk to the cities and explain to them the situation, ask for their assistance. These are their citizens that are being moved all over the place, as well as ours. And when we got in there and Votran did their thing, we said, no, we were looking for some help and some support. Could you please give us a hand? They said, well, thank you very much. And everybody walked out the door. Now, Mr. Daniels made a joke about it, what passed I had, walked up to the fundraising for Votran. I thought that was very inappropriate. I just looked at him and I said, you don't need to do that. Same thing here with the homelessness. we came up and said, okay, here's what we want to do. We're gonna give you the acreage, we'll build the building, put in the infrastructure in place. We would like the cities to help support this. We will work with faith organization and Catholic charities and all these nonprofits, Stuart Marchman, they can run the thing, but it's gonna cost a lot of money. To the tune of, and it just came out just 2 days ago, Orlando has to spend $50 million per year to house their homeless and run their shelter.
Well, but their
But
population
wait,
is 4 times the size of Daytona.
but wait, okay, divide that by 4. $15 million roughly? That's almost half
All
the
right,
county
gentlemen,
general.
gentlemen, hold on. I'll let you get to the second one. You know, you threw out a number, 125 bodies.
Yes.
Trust me, I
It's
could list,
125
Hold on.
beds in there.
I could list 100 bodies that I have written about personally. Homeless,
Okay.
gunshot victims, drug dealing victims, prostitution victims,
Okay.
serial killer victims,
Yes.
rape victims. Daytona has become a cesspool of violent crime. How could you not address that and just take a bunch of homeless people and stick them in a shelter?
It's not about homeless people and sticking them in the shelter.
Well, what is it then?
It's homeless people that we have to, not all homeless people are homeless because they want, number one, some of them.
Right, those are the ones that go.
A lot of them,
to the
a lot of them, no, a lot of them have mental illness that they don't know better. And when they get their little
Okay,
chance,
those
to
are the
come
ones
in,
that, those are
they
the ones
need to
that.
go into a shelter, a safe place where they can be taken care of, help, get them on the right medications and get them back into
But
society.
they're the ones that are selling off their social security checks.
To live.
And stipend, no, to get
survive.
drugs
To survive.
and get taken advantage of and die. I've written about
I
it.
understand that, you've written
Dozens
about
of
it,
times.
but I don't know which one is it.
I mean, I don't have experience
You
of
don't know
hanging
which
on
one it
a
is.
gavel on the dais,
Oh, that's
but I
not
have
the
the
answer.
experience of being out in the street.
Want the answer. We don't know which ones are doing what. That's why we have to get them into a room. They have to be evaluated. They have to be separated. The ones that have mental illness that can't take care of themselves, we need to get those taken care of. The ones that are just chronic homeless, that just want to be homeless, we have to find a place for them to go. Maybe they could stay at this homeless shelter. We've got the ones that are the criminal,
All right, let
the
me ask
drug
you,
crack
let me
dealers.
just another
We gotta
direction.
get them out.
Ed Kelley, you have a new sheriff coming in, Mike Chipwood, tough talking police chief. I'm grateful, thankless job here in Daytona with all the problems it has. I haven't heard either of you really talk about, I'm sure both of you are well acquainted with policy making, where the previous 2 candidates are newbies to the hardcore political stuff. You've been a mayor how long?
6 years,
And how long as a council member?
total 9.
So 9
9 and 6.
15 years, and you are really are training less than 4, right? Do you see yourselves working more with giving the resources? I know Ben Johnson said we need, the deputies are still upset they're not getting, everybody got like a 2 or 3% raise this week.
Before you go any further, I cannot address that issue at all.
I will.
Is it a shade issue?
We are in a,
All right, well,
I'm in
you're a
shade tree.
challenger.
I'm in
You
a
address
shade
it.
tree discussions
But-
with you. It's okay.
I'm sorry
What,
about that.
what we have to do, we have to recruit the best people we can. We have to pay them the best that we can afford, and keep them. And this not only for the deputies, but it's for the 911 operators and for the evac. And you've got to be able to keep the people, because you can't just hire them, train them, and then let them go somewhere else. It's an issue that's being faced in the land, for example. It says they have facing the same thing. So you have to be able to pay them to be able to keep them. We do an average in Ormond Beach. We've completed our negotiations, and we did a spectrum, a matrix, to show where Ormond Beach fell within the pay ranges of the other cities. The county has to do the same thing, because what we've had is we've had people with 10, 11, or 12 years service fall into a crack where a new person starting out makes within $500 or $1,000.
Yeah, it's kind of like a slap in the face.
So you
Five-year
have to be able to differentiate, so you can keep those officers that have been there, and you have your starting salary, so you can be able to keep the people, provide them the training they need, because all of us in the county depend upon some phase.
No, wait, I have
Wait,
to ask.
let me
I have to
finish.
ask.
Well, let him finish.
No, wait,
No,
before you
stop.
go-
Let him
wait,
finish
I
his
have
thought.
a
Forget about it.
Jason,
No, I have a
please.
legal issue. I do have to ask you before you go any farther. If what you're about to say, and you're going to draw up a plan, in the event, if you become
But
the
that's
county,
not his
hold it,
responsibility.
if you become the chair, we're still in shade tree negotiations. don't you think that what you're about to say?
No, you're in trade chief.
I'm not
He would
sure.
be if he becomes the chair.
I'm not,
He would be.
I'm not there, I can
He's
say
not
anything I
there.
want to about it.
Okay, okay, I just wanna make sure that there's
I can
no
You
say
legal.
interrupted me, I'm the moderator.
Sorry.
I can say
I don't
anything
have a
about,
gavel.
I can talk to any of the other candidates like I want to.
Sure you can.
And you can too now, until we're elected. So I can do that. And what I'm saying is, that's one of the things I think has been missing, is to look at the pay and to look at what they are and see, why are you losing people? Why are people getting upset? I guess because I'm willing to be fair and to look at it.
I know, we're almost out of time. We're gonna have 5 minute overtime here, and then we'll let you go. I can't go without, I would be remiss if not bringing up what Heather Post and Al Smith were going back and forth with the money. To date, tax, donations, not in kind, how much have you been
Probably
given
about
to date?
$30,000.
How about you, Ed?
I'm not sure. I'll look at it. 150.
Okay. So that's 180,000, not quite 260,000,
But we're running countywide.
but, what, you're running countywide. How much money did Ted Doran put in 2012?
In the year
Most of
of
it's on
2012, both Mr.
No, how much did Doran put in?
250,
And how much did Carl Persis get?
250,
And you've had how much?
10.
You really think that's gonna get it done this time with mailings and getting the word out? I mean, he worked hard to generate this money.
Yes, he did. He worked very hard to it, and I'm sorry that they wasted their money for him on him, because mine's still boots on the ground, knocking on the doors, shaking the hands, kissing the babies. Hey, how you doing? Here I am. Oh, we know who you are.
Let me make this point. Fred Lowry of Deltona, first term commissioner, council member, 90% of his money's coming in Daytona, Ormond Beach, prominent insiders. Not much to speak of in that first term, I think you both would agree.
What do you mean? His job? Him doing his job?
Yeah.
It's very quiet.
I mean, I remember the vote to reduce his own taxes by bringing those little fancy goats. We'll have to raise
yeah,
the public's taxes
yeah.
at what, 8%, including the fire tax, something like that.
The joke. The
He
fainted
bought and
jokes.
sold by the insiders?
No.
Is he bought and sold by the insiders?
I don't know.
Do you not have a relationship with the insiders where you can get out?
Yeah, I have a relationship with him. And
Is
I've
money an issue in this race?
Well, you have
Not
to
for me.
remember,
Not for me.
I
My
first
relationship.
ran for office in 1993.
Right.
So I've been building
Yeah, he's
support.
old.
Also, my last 2 elections, I won unopposed, so they didn't have to contribute anything. So they got a break for the 2 elections. So a lot of them were stepping up, realizing.
Here's what we're gonna do. You both were excellent in the primary, the debate we had.
Well, wait a minute. I'd like to also respond to that statement too. Is, yes,
Well,
you
we're
asked
out of
me.
time.
I know you asked the
You want
question.
closing.
Don't I have the right relationship with those girls? I said, yes, I do. But I've not taken their money. I said, no, I don't need that. I'll do it with citizens.
But is taking their money a bad thing if
No,
they
no,
wanna help?
no. But I still, it's like you said earlier.
Is
I
there-
don't want to be labeled
Is there a
as
perceived,
bought.
is there a perceived quid pro quo? Or are these people just wanting to make sure the right people get it?
They actually, what they want to do is they just want to make sure that they have a seat at the table, and that's why they do these things. And that's why they support Mr. Kelly, and they wanted to support me, and they
Well, I
support
want a seat at the table too.
They want to have a
Which is
seat
why
at the
I-
table.
You have
They want to
received
make,
I want
some of
to-
the same people.
some of them, not as
I want
much
to see at
as.
the table, which is why it's solicit advertising.
But, exactly, but it's like this, they don't want to, they offer the money,
All right.
but if you take all the money, if you don't take the money, or they don't offer the money, they're afraid that if you are elected, that you'll turn around and say, no, you didn't help me.
Okay, we both need
No,
to,
that's not-
that's possible.
hold on, you both need to zip it now,
Yeah.
so I can give you each
Okay.
couple minutes to do your closings. Ed, you won the primary convincingly, but he is the incumbent, so I'm gonna give, now here's how it's gonna work, like it did in the last, debate. You get the first, you get the last, if there's any rebuttal, comes back,
Okay.
and that's it. Go ahead, couple minutes.
The reason that I should be elected is because I've proven myself setting policy in Ormond Beach, providing the leadership to make Ormond Beach have the 3rd lowest tax rate of any of the county, cities in the county. I've shown leadership by being elected to various joint city organizations, Volusia Council of Government, Chairman, Water Authority of Volusia, Chairman, Volusia Water Alliance, Chairman, served on the Halifax Indian River Task Force. I was the chairman that I served. So I've been elected, and I learned very early on that as chairman, your job is to listen, to work with the people that you work with, to take everyone's input, put it in, to make the knowledge that you receive, to make that the wisdom that you use to make the correct decisions that you do for everyone. Everyone in Volusia County and outside of Volusia County can share their information with me and it will go into
30
the
seconds.
decision. So Ed Kelley is the person that you should elect chairman.
Thank you, Ed. Jason Davis.
Well, ever since I started running, oh my goodness, back in about 2012 was the first election. I made it a policy, my own personal policy. If you call me on my phone, I either answer it, or if I don't answer, I'm in a meeting, and I will call you back as soon as possible. And I have not missed a single phone call yet. That is my policy, period. And even whether I like that person or not, that person and I are fighting or not, even if Mr. Kelley called me, I will call him back. I have no problem calling anybody back. And that's what you kind of need. You need the kind of leadership that I bring to the table, which is a hands-on approach in the middle of all this. When the water problem's an issue, I was the one council member that actually showed up down at the Mosquito Lagoon, digging the silt in the water out in my bare hands, putting it into jars and saying, I need to get this tested and finding out what is really wrong with that water, which we did. I'm the guy that goes down when the school comes up, a charter school says I'm doing this great thing, and I look at the principal and said, I'll be down there. The next day I was down at that school, taking a tour of that school, finding out what's the difference between a charter school and a regular school. I'm the hands-on kind of guy, yes.
Is that policy making?
What?
What you're talking about?
No, this is hands-on. This is hands-on deal, it's your personal. I got a lot of council members that won't go. They'll just take it up, talk on the phone and leave. Or have somebody write a letter back. Yeah. I'm the only one that will call you right back. So if you want a hands-on approach and somebody who's got the experience in the county level, which is much, much different than any city level. The difference somebody's told me is the difference between running a city and a county is like driving a tricycle and then driving a semi-truck. There's so much more to do. We have 60 different departments. I personally sit on 12 different boards. I travel all over this county. This is truly a full-time job. And if you're not willing to put the 40,000 miles a year and do the 40 hours a week plus every week, I would highly suggest you don't do it.
I'm curious, before you do your rebuttal, are you aware of a candidate for a seat on the council who served or is serving on a municipal level? Her name is Billy Edgar Wheeler. Billy Edgar.
Billy Wheeler, I know.
Billy Wheeler. And she's going to be endorsed by us, by the way.
Congratulations.
Are you saying that what you do what you've done in your 4 years surpasses the decade-long effort she's done in civic, community, governmental, human relations?
I've done just as
But
much
are you,
civic,
you made it
community,
sound like
military.
You made it sound like I know it's a dig on the municipal level. You made it sound like.
Okay.
Is that what you're going to say?
For what you said, like riding a bicycle and driving a dump truck.
Right.
No, it's not like that. Go ahead.
Something like that. Okay. I mean, going from, no disrespect to anyone, but going from being a Sunday DJ to county chair is a huge jump. You have not been involved in the political process. When you don't understand how to, first of all, you've got to learn how to run a meeting. First thing you do is you don't go out and run every department. If you don't have competent people, you make sure you have a manager who can handle his department. You make sure he controls those departments, and then the departments control the employees. It's not your job to go out there and oversee what they do. It's your job, if something's not being done, to report to the manager. The manager then has the responsibility to see that those things are corrected because you have an issue with it. Serving on the different boards, I served on about a half a dozen boards, and I've done that. Serving on the boards, one of the biggest things we didn't do, we didn't have a representation at the Central Florida Regional Planning Council until recently, where we're making an input, because we are a regional community. We're being looked at by Orange and Seminole County as a community that is sitting out here poised, as someone said, waiting to strike, because we have a lot of what is needed. But what we have to have is we have to create the environment for growth, for the jobs to be created, and we create what is necessary, which is, big thing is the quality of life, so that we don't see people in New York or London seeing the homeless issue with people in the streets. We need to solve it. When you see that and you solve that, the word will be out that Volusia County has a cohesive government that works together, that we cohesively want to invite businesses to come here, that we want you here, and we want you to be here, bring your job creation ability, and it's going to happen. And the right leadership will be able to get a lot more.
Well, let me put it this way, and then we'll close it here. And you can just jump in if you want for a few seconds. I I know you've got to go, but, you know, one of the things I want to stress and it's a plug for us is our Headline Surfer Hall of Fame. And Frank Bruno is the #1 entrant, and Jim Deneen is in the top 5. Jim Deneen being the county manager, Frank Bruno being the county chair. You're the incumbent county chair, you succeeded Frank Bruno. You're trying to take the job away from him. Which one of you most emulates Frank Bruno?
I have his support. Does that help?
I have the support too.
I have his contribution.
He's contributed to me.
I think that that'll do it for this
Oh, I
third and
didn't
final
know that.
debate.
We play both.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Politics has
Very
best.
spirited, very spirited. Ed, good luck on your travels, safe travels today. And my health is markedly improved.
I told you if you'd have just waited, that's 6
I know.
weeks.
I gotta spend those 11 hours.